Hello and welcome to PlayStation Grenade. Friday the 13th is now on disc, thus more players will be joining us at Crystal Lake in the hopes of escaping Jason. With that in mind, I thought we should outline 10 tips to be the best Jason you can and make your mother proud. There's no definitive way to play Jason, but with any luck this will make newcomers better equipped from the outset, and those of you who are veterans, hopefully there'll be things in here you haven't considered yet. Okay, let's do this. Before Jason goes on the attack, it's best to think defensively. Usually the fastest way for counsellors to escape is by calling the cops and waiting out the 5 minutes to be rescued. This drastically cuts down the massacre time, so one of the first things every Jason should do is teleport over to the phone icon on the map and set up a few traps around the relay box the survivors will need to repair. You will be alerted by any trap being trodden on, so quickly pulling out your map and checking which of the traps has now vanished, then fast travelling to that location, you can prevent the police from spoiling your fun. Still thinking defensively, a solid next step to take is to set up traps around other objectives, or more specifically the cars and the boat. Again, this is all about getting the drop on potential escapees. In fact, let's jump to the next general point. Listen.
Copy, I'm in roll therapy. 10-4-97.
Like we've already said, you can hear when traps have caught someone. But not only that, listen and you will hear when a car has been started, or if someone messes up in one of those mini-games. The sounds can be easy to miss, so listen to the alerts, keep your ears open and be ready to jump to a location fast. Speaking of listening to your surroundings, the Stalk function allows you to turn the tables on the counsellors. I'm sure you're completely aware of musical changes when Jason is near a counsellor. The intensity rises and they tend to scatter like rabbits. Using Stalk, you can disable this feature, so when used correctly, the counsellors can be fooled into thinking they are safe, as no music is playing, only for Jason to pop up unexpectedly, causing a jump scare and buying you a little bit more time to murder those pesky counsellors. Let's quickly talk about the best practice ways of using some of the other abilities Jason has. Sense allows you to see your foes in red, depending on the distance and fear. My tip isn't when to use it, my tip is to turn it off quickly, let it regenerate, use it quickly to identify a target, then turn it off again and save it. This technique will let Jason use Sense multiple times every minute, which is very useful indeed. The shift ability can be a little difficult to use at times, as steering can be a pain in the backside, but once you've mastered it, be sure to shift and grab. Try to surprise an enemy. It seems obvious, but you'll be surprised how many times I've seen a Jason shifting around in circles waiting for it to end. Fear is vital to a good horror film, and the same goes for the game. Finding ways to strike fear in the hearts of the counsellors is a useful tactic. Some counsellors will be scared stiff by seeing your ugly mug. Others require a little bit more to be a screaming mess. To help the fear along, try to take out the electricity boxes at each of the busier areas of the map. This knocks out all the lighting, and not only does the fear level rise, but it also makes survivors use their torch, which in turn makes your job a little easier to search and destroy. At some point, you'll be stuck in an annoying chase with a counsellor that runs in circles. This feels like a huge waste of time, but eventually you will catch up with them. To speed things up a little, crack out those throwing knives. These projectiles can be used to interrupt the healing animation of counsellors too, and others depending on the moment they are thrown. Right as you become Jason, grab those throwing knives and try to pick up as many as you can on your journeys, but don't go out of your way to find them. If you've been a little unlucky and the police have been called, plant traps around the exit point. Most players are very aware of this technique, so vary where you place them. The road may be a little obvious for some veteran players, so try the bushes and the places counsellors sneak through. This links to my next point. Don't always grab the counsellors. Use your weapon. During the latter stages, a few survivors will have pocket knives to stun you the second you grab them. To counteract this, swing your weapon like a madman. This method can sometimes be quicker to kill, and the lost time watching an execution is better used slicing up another victim. Finally, in the latter stages of each game, you will find yourself looking for a sole survivor, usually around one of the bigger buildings. You've broken down all the beds and wardrobes, but you still can't find them. Your next step is to look for unconventional hiding spots. A counsellor can just sit behind a door. A counsellor can be up against a wall in between units. A counsellor can even be on the outside of a building but so close to it that it appears they are on the inside. So try not to get frustrated and be vigilant. So there you go, there's 10 tips to be the best Jason you can. Thanks for taking the time to watch this, and if you have any strategies or best practices, then let us know in the comments. Oh, and a huge welcome to all of you who have recently bought Friday the 13th. I'm Adam from PlayStation Grenade. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you next time.